The ultimate armament, the legendary A10 Warthog, is prepared to confront contemporary ground threats head-on, with cutting-edge enhancements that make it a formidable competitor, even alongside state-of-the-art jets like the F-35. Its exceptional firepower and ruggedness have earned it the moniker Tank Destroyer. Engineered to dominate the combat zone, it was built on lessons from the Korean conflict and refined upon the achievements of the Douglas A-1 Skyraider, making it more menacing than ever. So what latest enhancements make the Warthog more powerful, and will it remain relevant in the coming years? Join us as we unveil how the recently upgraded 2025 A10 Warthog astonished the world. In the 1960s, when the world was confronted with the menace of nuclear warfare, Pentagon authorities realized that achieving triumph wouldn't solely rely on the availability of atomic armaments, but also on the capability to effectively assist ground forces. However, after the Second World War, the progression of strike aircraft slowed, leaving the United States exposed during the Vietnam War. The main attack aircraft at that time was the Douglas A-1 Skyraider, a relic from the Korean conflict. Unfortunately, it lacked sufficient firepower for the dense jungles of Vietnam and was highly susceptible to enemy ground fire. Recognizing the obstacle, the need to reinforce aerial support became a critical objective for the US Air Force. They required an aircraft capable of countering Soviet tanks and shielding infantry by piercing enemy defenses. In September 1996, General John P. McConnell, Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, commissioned the development of a dedicated close air support aircraft. This led to the establishment of the AX program, short for Attack Experimental. During the search for the ideal aerospace manufacturer to assign this crucial mission to, 6 companies submitted proposals. However, the U.S. Air Force showed preference for Northrop's YA-9A and Fairchild Republic's YA-10A. After undergoing rigorous testing, they ultimately selected the YA-10A. Later, the U.S. Air Force revised its criteria and requested a more comprehensive proposal for the new aircraft. They took into account the potential threat posed by Soviet armored units and the necessity to operate under any weather conditions. The updated requirements featured a 30mm rotary cannon, a maximum speed of 460 miles per hour, a takeoff distance of 4,000 feet, the capacity to carry up to 16,000 pounds of ordnance, a range of 285 miles, and an estimated cost of about $1.4 million. This would become the first aircraft in the U.S. Air Force's history purpose-built for close air support. To enhance its combat efficiency, the Air Force also demanded a cannon with a minimum firing rate of 4,000 rounds per minute. This resulted in the development of the GAU-8 cannon, which is capable of penetrating armored vehicles from over 1,300 yards away, firing at a rate of 65 rounds per second with an 80% accuracy. The project incorporated 4 types of ammunition: practice rounds, semi-armor-piercing explosives, armor-piercing incendiaries, and high-explosive incendiaries. The A-10 is also armed with a formidable weapon known as the Avenger, one of the most powerful aircraft weapons ever created, making the A-10 a swift and lethal force capable of obliterating enemy tanks effortlessly. The A-10 was also tested with other armaments, such as the AGM-65 Maverick missile and AGR-20E precision system, further enhancing its effectiveness against armored targets. This aircraft is celebrated for its immense firepower, 30mm cannon, titanium armor plating, and its capability to assist ground forces in close combat, making it an indispensable asset in large-scale, high-intensity battles. As global threats evolve, it is logical for the Air Force to retain the A-10 in active service. It excels against high-value targets such as fuel convoys and can deploy a diverse arsenal of bombs, including laser-guided and precision missiles. Additionally, it plays a critical role in various combat scenarios, such as counterinsurgency and direct air support for ground troops. It's no wonder that this resilient aircraft has undergone numerous upgrades to maintain its relevance since its introduction in 1976. The A-10 has had a lengthy service history, and it's clear that it won't be phased out until at least 2040. No other aircraft in the U.S. military can rival its capability to deliver close air support to ground forces. Looking at how the A-10 developed, It's remarkable that such a large and heavily armored plane can be so maneuverable and effective. Its primary design objectives were to be durable and easy to repair. The Warthog was engineered to operate from uneven airstrips and withstand engine damage from debris. This explains why its twin engines, the General Electric TF-34GE100, are positioned high and behind the wings, in front of the tail. These engines have a high bypass ratio, meaning they generate less heat, making them harder to detect by heat-seeking missiles. Their location also ensures they remain operational while the aircraft is being maintained or equipped with new weaponry. Despite the A-10's formidable capabilities, Congress wanted to determine whether it should continue allocating $4.2 billion to the aircraft, or replace it with the F-35 Lightning II. To reach a decision, the Air Force was tasked with enhancing the A-10 and evaluating whether the F-35 could genuinely supersede it. In response, the Air Force introduced a series of major enhancements to the A-10. The modernization of the A-10C, which began in 2005, was a significant enhancement for the Warthog. It introduced precision-guided weapons, several digital screens in the cockpit, and an advanced laser targeting system. The Suite 10 upgrade, which was scheduled for completion in spring 2021, marked the next stage in making the A-10 more cutting-edge. One of the initial enhancements was the V-12 Lightweight Aerial Recovery System, which strengthened communication between A-10 pilots and ground forces, including pararescue teams and downed pilots. This technology enabled the A-10 to deliver even closer air support and assist with combat search and rescue operations. To increase its survivability in modern warfare, the aircraft was outfitted with longer-range weaponry. Since it lacks the speed to evade enemy fire once detected in hostile airspace, it was previously risky for the plane to approach too closely before firing. However, with its new arsenal, the A-10 could strike from greater distances, all while demonstrating its maneuverability in the air. Additionally, updated combat tactics were implemented to minimize risks while still engaging targets from afar with highly accurate weaponry. Once these threats were neutralized, the A-10 could then resume its primary missions without interruption. Equipped with night vision goggles, the A-10 can continue dominating the battlefield even in low-light conditions, operating at medium and low altitudes. It can also target naval threats using the ARR-12 precision weapon system, which reloads rockets 4 times faster than previous versions, making it an even more lethal force. Thanks to the 8th enhancement, Major Kading emphasized that survival in combat isn't just about possessing the most advanced equipment and software, it's also about deploying the most effective and lethal tactics. He also stated that what sets their organization apart is their dedication to all these vital factors. Suite 9, which was launched in 2019, enabled JTACs to transmit their position digitally to the A-10's onboard computer. This advancement helps eliminate the risk of friendly fire incidents. Additionally, it empowered the A-10 to engage multiple targets simultaneously using precision-guided munitions. Now, the pilot can release 6 weapons with a single button press, a task that previously demanded much more manual effort. The aircraft can now deploy a variety of bombs, including the GBU-38 and GBU-31 JDAMs, while its systems inform the pilot whether a successful strike can be achieved in a single pass. Additionally, Suite 9 introduced enhancements to the pilot's helmet, known as HOBIT, Hybrid Optical-Based Inertial Tracker. This cutting-edge helmet tracks the pilot's head movements with greater accuracy by utilizing special markers on the canopy. With each new advancement, the A-10's capabilities continue to evolve, making it an even more intimidating force on the battlefield. The enhanced A-10C can carry up to 16,000 pounds of varied ammunition on 8 underwing pylons and 3 ventral pylons. These include 500-pound Mark 82 bombs, 2,000-pound Mark 84 bombs, GBU-39 small-diameter bombs, laser and GPS-guided bombs, precision-guided joint direct attack munitions, JDAMs, incendiary cluster bombs, combined effect munitions, and mines. Let's not forget the rockets, such as the AGM-65 Maverick, unguided and laser-guided 2.75-inch missiles, and the AM-9 Sidewinder. Beyond its extensive weaponry, The A-10 is also outfitted with infrared countermeasure flares, electronic countermeasure chaff, jammer pods, and illumination flares. As part of the Suite 9 upgrade, the A-10 was fitted with a situational awareness pad, which allowed Joint Terminal Attack Controllers (JTACs) to transmit their locations digitally. This significantly improved the A-10's ability to track allies and various battlefield elements. Before this upgrade, pilots had to visually scan for friendly forces, which was often challenging when dust and debris obscured their view. With this advanced system, the A-10 now has a clearer perspective, minimizing the risk of errors and greatly reducing the likelihood of friendly fire incidents during the chaos of battle. Now that the A-10 can more effectively distinguish between foes and allies, it has become even more lethal to its adversaries. It can simultaneously engage up to 6 targets using precision-guided munitions with just a single button press. The A-10 is armed with formidable weaponry, including 2,000-pound GBU-31 bombs and 500-pound GBU-38 explosives, making it incredibly destructive in combat scenarios. Its accuracy has also been enhanced with cutting-edge helmets known as Hybrid Optical-Based Inertial Trackers, HOBITs. These helmets feature mounted sights that sync with the pilot's head movements, reducing reaction time and improving efficiency. With advanced display systems like the BAE Systems Vision EX Scorpion, pilots receive critical targeting data, further refining their precision and mission success rate. Suite 10 will allow the pilot to strike multiple targets using various weapons in a single mission. It will also fully integrate the AG-30 APKWS rocket, enabling the A-10 to engage enemies from longer distances with enhanced precision. The addition of GB-30 V3 GBU bombs will expand its capabilities by introducing new bomb fuses, while also giving pilots improved feedback on bomb effectiveness and accuracy. Pilots will also be able to share threat data with other A-10s through a secure data link, enhancing safety and coordination during missions. Suite 11 testing is scheduled to begin once Suite 10 is complete, and the 40th Flight Test Squadron in Florida is currently evaluating it. Suite 11 aims to bring even more upgrades, including a modernized cockpit display, integration of the GB-39 small-diameter bomb, better audio systems, improved GPS jamming resistance, and a radio system overhaul. These improvements will further modernize the A-10 and enhance its combat capabilities. The wing replacement program that began in 2007 and concluded in 2019 ensured that the new wings will last significantly longer without the need for repairs, helping to keep the Warthog operational through at least 2030. While there are no current plans to upgrade the engines, all these enhancements ensure that the A-10 remains a viable and powerful asset for the Air Force for many years to come. The A-10 truly deserves its nickname, the Terminator of U.S. military aircraft. It's engineered to withstand direct hits from armor-piercing and high-explosive rounds up to 23 millimeters in caliber. Even if its hydraulic system fails, the plane features a manual backup control system, and it's specifically built to return to base despite sustaining heavy damage, like losing an engine, half a tail, or even part of a wing. A powerful example of its resilience occurred during the 2003 Iraq invasion, when pilot Kim Campbell's A-10 took heavy fire. Despite losing one engine and the hydraulic system, she was able to fly it back safely using manual flight controls. This incident reinforced just how durable and agile the aircraft truly is, even beyond expectations. Beyond toughness, the A-10 is also a maintenance dream. Nearly all its major components are interchangeable and can be mounted on either side of the aircraft. This design choice makes it incredibly efficient to repair, even under harsh battlefield conditions. This list of symmetrical parts includes engines, vertical stabilizers, main landing gear, and more. When engineers designed the A-10, their goal was crystal clear: create a flying tank to destroy tanks. To protect the pilot, they included a 1,200-pound titanium armor bathtub, up to 1.5 inches thick. At the time, this was one of the first uses of such advanced metal alloys in any aircraft. But here's the real question. Could a heavily armored beast like this still fly if its fuel tank was damaged? Engineers took significant steps to minimize damage to the fuel system. All 4 fuel tanks were strategically placed near the center of the aircraft, well away from the edges. This setup means the tanks would need to be hit through the thick armor of the aircraft first. If the fuel lines are damaged, they can seal themselves, and check valves prevent fuel from leaking into the affected tanks. The tanks are also lined with polyurethane foam, both inside and out, acting as a barrier to debris and further reducing the risk of fuel leakage if struck. Additionally, fire barriers and extinguishing systems are in place to protect the engines, ensuring safety even if all 4 fuel tanks are severely damaged. Even then, the aircraft retains enough fuel in 2 special sumps to continue flying for 230 miles. Since its early production, the A10 has undergone multiple tests to ensure it performs at peak efficiency. One of the first major tests, conducted in the late 1970s, involved modifying an A10 into a 2-seat version called the YA-10B. This was done to assess its ability to handle all-weather and night operations. Most recently, Lieutenant Christopher Earle, a test analyst with the 59th Test and Evaluation Squadron, shared that testing has been continuous since 2020. The current plan is to keep testing different types of anti-armor weapons to evaluate how well they perform against vehicles equipped with specialized armor. Now that the concept has been proven effective, the Air Force is gathering further data to continue improving the aircraft's performance. With these new upgrades and features, how does the tank killer prove itself to be a machine truly ready for battle, especially with advanced threats emerging? Looking back at its history from previous missions, the Warthog was clearly built to withstand the test of time. Its airframe was designed for durability, incorporating features like 1,200 pounds of titanium armor to protect the cockpit and critical systems, allowing it to absorb significant damage and continue flying. The A10 can endure extreme conditions, including the loss of half a wing, half a tail, 1 engine, or 1 elevator, and still return safely to base. Its ability to take off and land from relatively short runways gives it a distinct advantage in operations near the front lines, and its simple design makes it easy to maintain with minimal facilities, showcasing its highly efficient design. The A10 made a notable appearance during America's involvement in the Iraq invasion of Kuwait during Operation Desert Storm in 1991, part of the First Gulf War. In this campaign, American A-10s achieved remarkable success, destroying over 900 Iraqi tanks, along with an impressive 2,000 other combat vehicles and 1,200 artillery pieces. This war beast has also participated in various conflicts, including those in Grenada, the Balkans, Afghanistan, Iraq, and against the Islamic State in the Middle East. Currently, the 422 Squadron is working on improving tactics to enhance how the Warthog performs in combat. One of their focus areas involves flying at night at lower altitudes while utilizing advanced night vision technology. They are also exploring new methods for rescuing people in dangerous situations and ways to attack enemy ships using specialized rockets. Additionally, they are working on enhancing the fighter's ability to operate from locations with limited support. All these updates will make the A10 even more ready and effective for missions. The AGR-2 APKWS-2 rocket is an advanced version of the older 2.75-inch rocket, which the A10 began using in 2013. With its powerful capabilities, the Warthog has remained a top choice in modern warfare scenarios, especially with its recent upgrades. It continues to excel in rapidly completing mission objectives, regardless of the challenges posed by the terrain. Its capabilities have only grown over time, making it an indispensable asset for any air squadron. These factors are the primary reasons why the A10's retirement has been delayed. The A10's primary technical strengths and combat abilities are being maintained and enhanced, according to officials. In 2021, the A10 performed exceptionally well during a bombing campaign against ISIS, leading the Air Force to delay its planned retirement. Instead, they began developing a new, long-term version of the A10. Earlier that year, Pentagon leaders announced that the A10 would not be retired and would remain in service until at least 2022. Now, both the Air Force and the Department of Defense are committed to keeping the A10 flying for many more years. The aircraft has been used by the US Air Force in numerous missions, including those in Afghanistan, Iraq, and other conflicts. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, some US officials suggested that A-10s could assist Ukraine in countering Russian tanks, but discussions have since shifted toward providing F-16 fighters. The future of the A-10 remains uncertain. Initially, the US Air Force planned to keep the aircraft in service until 2028 and then replace it with F-35 fighters, but many experts have argued against this, pointing out how effective the A-10 still is and the high cost of the F-35. As a result, the A-10 might not retire until the 2030s, meaning it could remain in service for many more years. In the ever-evolving world of air combat, the A-10 demonstrates the importance of adaptability and resilience. Its distinctive design, featuring the GU-8 Avenger cannon, titanium armor, and formidable weapons, has made it an indispensable asset in close air support missions, from the rough battlefield to high-stakes operations.